the majority, you know, it's the only thing to me is fear that would hold you back.
So
Speaking up.
so their fear supersedes their will to do right by this child that they see getting molested. Like they see a big man with a little girl and them say, yo, them little girl that just love big man. Like, what? What?
That narrative is so disgusting to me.
Jesus Christ.
Instead of teaching your sons not to be rapists and predators, you're gonna tell your daughters not, oh, you dressing like this, don't dress like this, don't act too grown or what? Oh,
First of all, the first time I got raped,
oh God.
I look like I'm coming from church. Yeah, I can talk about it now. Honestly, it took a while to be able to say that without flinching.
Oh,
And it was somebody I trusted. It's not strange. It wasn't strangers who hurt me. This is somebody I trusted. So I was just coming in the music business, and I was coming from the country, moved to Kingston. I was brought to my sister's house first as a babysitter, for her daughter, my niece, and in the process of babysitting, she ended up sending me to fashion design school in Hertfordshire in Kingston. And I would go to school in the morning. I drop my niece at her school, and then I go to my school 3 days a week, and then I go back to my niece's school and wait until her school is over, and then I bring her home. And I started on the mornings that I didn't have school, because it was only three days per week school. I started searching around for a studio to go to. This is when I was just trying to break into the industry. And I found one at the top of Maxfield Avenue in Kingston, near Hertfordshire. New Name Music, Kester Brown Studio. Miss Dawn Henry was there at the time. And I started going there. Now, there was one artist there. Now, at the time, there were 3 big artists, really huge artists in Jamaica. Shabba Ranks was the king. Patra was the queen. She was next to Shabba. And then there was another guy next in line. And he became my mentor.
uh-huh.
He became my mentor, and he used to call me his little sister, and I believed it. I really believed it. So at one point when I turned 17, my big sister, who I was living with, said she didn't realize I was that young. She thought I was like turning 20 or something. So turning 17 meant I couldn't go to the studio anymore. I was devastated, because that was the only thing in my life that was actually good.
Right.
And I went to the studio one last time, and I told them, like, listen, I can't come anymore. My sister has forbidden me. This is it for me, guys. It was really nice. And my mentor said, no, man, you want me to come talk to her? And I'm like, you would? No, my sister, my auntie, every woman in my family loved him. So I was like, yo, surely if him come and talk for me, my good.
Yeah.
My mouth good. So he said, yeah, man, of course, we'll come and talk to your sister. I'm like, all right, cool. So that evening, he brought me home, and he sat and he talked to my sister. And he took responsibility for me. As she said, she didn't think it was safe for a young girl my age to be out, which is it is a good concern, and I appreciate it.
Mm.
And he took responsibility, and she trusted him. And she gave me permission based on his taking responsibility. Shannon, her ass. When that man first of all, he never made an advance. He only spoke of me as his little sister. He never made an advance, never, not once. And I say that many times to reinforce the fact that there's no indication that there was any thought of that in his mind.
Yeah.
So he was moving house. At the time, I was fresh from the country. I don't know Kingston. I didn't know the geography of Kingston, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is me just talking about how easily we accommodate rape culture in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
So he was moving house, and I'm fresh from the country. I've never been a dunce. I wouldn't say I'm exactly naive, but I was ignorant of some ways of people. And like he'd done many times before, he offered me a ride home. So on the ride home, then he said he had to drop by his new place. Everybody knew he was moving. And he said he wanted to stop by his new place real quick and drop off something. Now, if I had known the geography of Kingston, I would have known something was wrong. Because my home was on the way to his new place. This is what I realized afterwards when I got to know Kingston well. So he said he wanted to drop it. And I was like, sure, why not? Why would I say no to you stopping along the way to drop off something at your place when this is your car and your ride? What is this? Shandy. Oh, cool. Cheers. I have Shandy.
I love Shandy. I just all of my Shandy off last week. I had to come get my because my phone was.
This is nice.
Go ahead.
This is nice. So he was going to stop by his place, right? To drop off something at his new place that he's setting up. And he drives to the place and he stopped outside of it. It's kind of like I've not been able to go back there to look. Because psychologically I just couldn't handle it. But it's kind of like it looked like a cross between a townhouse and an apartment building. And he stopped outside of it on the curb. And I was sitting in the car and he jumped out and he started to run toward the building. And then he stopped and he looked like he was thinking, and then he came back and he said, so you don't want to check out the place? And I was like, okay. And he was like, yeah man, come check out the place and you can give me some pointers and tell me what you think and what we can do with the place and stuff like. Come in man. And I was like, oh cool. This made me feel valid because I really was his little sister. I was a part of his process and he wanted my opinion on his place, and I was like, cool, I can't lie. I was impressed. I was affected because it felt like, yeah, this person actually saw me as an equal, as a part of his circle.
Yeah.
And I went. On the outside, at the landing in front of his door, there were some people. See, there's a balcony, a little railing. So some steps going all the way up the building, and on the landing in front of his door, there were some people. I can't tell how many people, maybe about four people. There was a woman there too. And I said, good afternoon, and we went in the door. When we went inside of the door, he locked the door. And that made me kind of pause a little bit, and I was like, well, but then I thought to myself, oh, Kingston, you know them still pure criminal.
Right.
Pure criminal. So he locked the door, and then he started to show me around. Girl, when we reach the bedroom, it's a full-on assault. Full assault. When I see this man speaking, and when I see Jamaica big him up sometimes and they act like he's such an upstanding citizen, oh, he's a Christian man, he's a nice guy, I go bonkers. Because you see, no matter what nobody tells me, I know my experience. I was there, he was there, he knows my experience. We know what happened. Child, I defend myself. I was about 95 pounds. It's a big diesel man. Thick, so muscle, nobody fat. And when him start beat me decide, all right, you know have to beat me. Me give up. Me a ball for help, you know. I scream for help, me ball for rape. People there outside the door. You see when me scream and ball for rape and me know you nobody answer. Me just stop. Because what me I do, wait until when he kill me. Me I get real licks. So me stop fight. And that continued for hours. For hours. I was locked inside of his new place that he was moving into and just violated for hours. And when him done, him hold me and lead me to the bathroom, put me in a shower himself and bathe me. No evidence, no left. Me get a proper scrub. Proper scrub. Who me did I go report him to? Remember me come there voluntarily, you know? Remember my ball for help and my ball for rape and nobody not sign up. So who me da report him to and who was gonna be my witness? Remember, this is a man who is adored by the 14 parishes and the diaspora. Who may I report him to? Me I want upcoming artist. You hear what them say about the girl them are going near Big Bill Cosby? So who may I report him to? Me an idiot. Now let me tell you the dialogue I had going into that experience. My big sister was a senior teacher at Ocherous High School, and I used to live with her. And I used to hang around her and the other teachers. And one of her co-workers was the daughter of a judge, a magistrate. And I heard her say to the other woman, her daddy told her and her sister, if they got raped, do not go to the police, come to him. Because if they go through the system, they're going to be raped repeatedly by the system. That was the one dialogue I had in my head of reporting rape. I would never go to the police. Not with that in my head. And that was a judge. So I went home. I went home with the conversation. Now listen, when he finished and he made me beard, you know, and put me in one big t-shirt, his t-shirt, I had on a big old t-shirt. And I was just sitting in a corner, hug my knee and just a ball. My ball until no tears now come like me dry. And he asked if I wanted to go home. And I said no, because me never want to leave out until night. Me never want nobody see me face. Like I felt dirty. I felt ashamed. I felt guilty. I felt like shit. And I knew that people were there when I went in. And I was hoping that they couldn't remember my face. And if I came out in the darkness, they wouldn't be there. And nobody would see me and I could just go home in anonymity. When I went home, I went to the shower again. And I showered. And I showered. I have no evidence. I have nothing. Who may I go to? I'm poor. And I went voluntarily. This is why sometimes you see me fight, me argue with people. I'm going to fight violent with people where speak out of their ass, you know, because they don't know. They sit over there in judgment and they speak on these girls and they don't know. You don't know what I feel like. You know what I feel like when I go home? Remember now, I live with a judgmental sister. I come from a judgmental family. I come from a family where I say I should have got college, although them have no money to pay for college. My family would have preferred that I went to college and indebted myself with a student loan than pursue my passion. And they made it very clear. Them tell me say I turn cruff, me a what list now. And some said iron balloon. I would never bust, so go get a real job. I couldn't go to them and tell them that I went to the studio and got raped. Could I? How would I broach that conversation with some people who already said that was what was waiting for me at the studio? So now may I come back and say you did right, which meant I couldn't go to the studio anymore. And the studio didn't do anything to me. One man did. Studio never do nothing to me at all. One monster did. And him do it repeatedly and people protect him.
Well, first, wait. Oh my God, I'm at a loss for words right now. First of all, I didn't even know that you went through something like this. Second of all, I know it was a long time ago and I know you're okay now, but I'm so sorry that happened to you. I am so sorry that happened to you. And third, how the hell did you get through that?
I didn't.
Did you ever tell anybody?
I tried. But every time I brought it up, it just was never convenient to the people around me. People around me had much more important problems to deal with. Important problem like a coworker who keeps talking shit about me and I'm not looking. Stuff like that. I had to sit and listen to complaints about petty, stupid shit all day, every day from other people. I wanted to talk about it. I could not. I simply could not. So let me tell you, further than that, I ended up back in the country at my mother's house. And I was trying to break into music just the same because I felt like, you know what, I'm not going to allow this to deter me. No more than ever, I have a reason to do this. And so I was back in the country, and in the country there are less opportunities to sing. In the city, I could go to the studios and record. In the country, we never had no studio. So I was singing on sound systems. I went to dances, and I hope to get in via that route. And I was kind of like a local celebrity in St. Mary, the parish I'm from. When I started getting put on posters, I was like, yeah, all right, girl, come. Now, you know, music is a male-dominated field. So the majority of the people I was hanging out around was male. I started to date a guy I knew since I was a kid. I know him from as far back as I can remember. And I confided in him. He used to come to dances with me too, with a bunch of us. And I confided in him and I told him what happened, what had happened to me in Kingston. And he seemed to empathize. Apparently, not really. Because he set up a train He set up a train. So the second time I experienced that was actually a train.
Oh my God.
Good people pick me do it, you know. Upstanding. So let me tell you the irony of this train. It happened in a policeman's house. Son of a policeman. Yeah. You have no idea. This is nothing. This is Jamaica. Everybody knows this story. Not mine. They know theirs. You'd be surprised how many girls experience this.
I know.
How many boys did this?
I know.
How many parents allow this? When this happened, I was actually hanging out with this guy I was dating, who I confided in, who I felt comfortable with because I had known him all my life. This wasn't a stranger. I'd known him. I don't remember not knowing him. And the other guys, two of the other guys, I knew them from school. They went to other different schools. They went to a different school than mine. But we met up at like sport day events and stuff like that. I knew them. And I felt comfortable with them too. And they were my age. So I felt like, surely I'm safe. I wasn't. Not safe at all. And this happened hanging out with friends, just, doing what normal teenagers do. First time was 17, second time 19.
Oh my God.
So the second time when this happened, and people say, so why you never scream? Remember the first time I fought and I was beat up. Second time it was a few of them. One man beat me up. You think me I go fight few man? I not fight few man. All me I do, I just look on the one person who I trust the most and I say, why you do this to me? And I kept repeating that. I can't believe, and he wouldn't look in my face. He just wouldn't look at me. And they did whatever they came to do. And that was it. Again, I couldn't leave until the night because this comes with an extremely large amount of just disgust. Like, it's not self-hatred, but it's like dirt. Just dirt. Like, I don't want nobody to see me like this because right now, I'm dirty. And again, I shower. And I left. When I left, it was night because I didn't want anybody to see me by day. So I left again in the night. And when I walked away from there, on my way to grab a bus to go home, I saw somebody I recognized. I have a sound system, so I know him because remember me singing for a sound system. And he asked me where I was coming from. And I guess because it was just so new and I really didn't think of any kind of insulation for myself yet. I just opened my mouth and it just let out. And I told him everything. And him said, come, me bring you to the station. And I said, no. And him said, what do you mean you don't want to go to the station? And I said, no, because the house I was in belonged to a policeman. He was on duty. I was going to walk into the station and tell him, maybe he locked me up for breaking and entering his house. He never invited me there. Would I go report his son to him? Do I trust reporting his son to him? St. Mary's is a place where a young woman was stranded trying to get a drive, and she went to the police station to seek refuge, and the policeman raped her. You think me I go to a police station and go tell one policeman saying son just assault me in a house, in a female house? What may I do there? So I went home. The guy I was talking to gave me an advance notice because when I said I didn't want to go to the station, he said, oh, so you must have want it then. So I just shut up. After that, I shut up. I said nothing. I went home. And about 2 days after, I was at home. First of all, I went home and I was just showering. I just a beard. I couldn't stop beard. Like, my beard, for days, I just a intermittent. Every time I think out it hard, I go back to bed again. And I was home. Everybody else was gone. And I was alone home. I'm hear a car horn at my gate. I'm go and look, and at the boy them in a white car, I don't know kind of sedan at my gate. I asked me if me all right. And I was so scared because I was home alone. I run back inside and lock up because I thought there was gonna be a repeat. Me never have no escape route.
Yeah.
But luckily, they left. After that, I was home. Me stay home for months. I just couldn't come out. Me never want to see nobody. Me never want nobody see me.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand the psychology of this. That when they speak, this is why I keep saying, do not talk. If you don't know, don't speak. Just it's okay to be silent. Better to be silent than to cause more damage.
Wait, I have so many questions. So, did you tell your mom?
No,
So your mom never knew, and
not really.
your mom didn't like suspect any weird behavior in you, like that you changed.
I don't know. She didn't say. But you have to understand too, she came from a different time and she was brought up on different rules. She will come from a society where, let me tell you, every time I'd heard anything like that mentioned, this stigma was always placed on the victim. I remember one girl that everybody used to point at and say, see the girl that with them raped. Our family had to move her. I don't know if she migrated and never saw her again. Never saw her again. There was another girl who got raped and then she started acting different and everybody say she mad out. And it's like, yo, boy, she just turned one piece of skettle bomb. Like skettle wasn't a word then, but it's like she turned or.
Yeah.
And it's the post-rape behavior that the lack of self-worth that comes from that violation. Because what it does is not physical. The biggest damage is not physical. Because at one point, how I used to treat myself, how I used to counsel myself to save me from the brink of madness. One of the boys, one of them Monday, from the train, had a micro penis. And that is what I used to cheer myself up. Like, well, technically, it's one less person because he technically wasn't a part of it because he really had no penis.
Oh my God.
It's been the kind of madness that he used to bring me back from madness. And
God.
let me tell you something. Every single time I went on the road and somebody said something negative, that made me feel like I was falling into a hole because after a while I had to go on the road.
Yeah.
It was always a women. I remember one time I went back to Portmore, which is where it happened. And I was walking on the street. And one girl was walking with another girl. I can still remember her face. I can't even remember the second girl's face, but I remember the first one. She pointed at me across. She was at for those who know Portmore on the line. She did over the little harbor dash through the back of the clock. Side of Jane. Over the side I walk. And me there, I come off of the bridge. Come into the clock. And when I pass the gas station, I could hear her and she point. And say, see the girl there? And that girl there, them battery at frontier. Loud. I remember like it's yesterday, I tell you, I can hear her voice and I can see her face. A point. And she laughed. Remember, I don't do nothing. All I did was hang out with my friends when I trust. This is the kind of narrative we're out there right now in our society, and we accommodate it. You see, this is the reason why when they put all these them put all of them measures in place and I pretend to care about people with COVID. Me no bite.
Right.
Because rape is a bigger pandemic than COVID in Jamaica.
Yep.
Way more people get raped than we get COVID.
Yep.
I mean, see them, I do nothing about it.
Yep.
When me look and see rapists the side of them, me can point and say, him a rapist. You know what rapist me know? Rape victims trust me and then tell me. I me believe them. Me can tell you, this is my superpower. Me can tell you when a girl a lie. And very, very, very seldomly, me ever get a feeling like a girl a lie. The language that they use and the body language that they have, the behavior changes. Me can identify the behavioral changes.
Right.
Me identify it because me identify with it. Me can pick up on it. Certain things that them say, me know that now come from a girl whenever get raped. Because when I start to resonate within me,
Right.
me know when I true. Me know. That's why I know something because they're rapist. Me not ask Christ. Me not ask Christ. Me I tell you,
Listen.
I'll have to go listen to the victim them and some of them I tell lies. Some of them I tell lies for real. But you see one of them when I talk the truth, girl, it resonate and it it take my intestines and it twist them in a some knots and it put me in my bed and I hug up my knee and in a fetal and I cry. Because me feel them pain. Me know the pain there. Me know the pain there. The only thing that brought me out of that pain. First of all, I've heard many people say, oh, so if him really rape her, why she go back there? Girl, me date one of my rapists. After rape. Shannon, me don't know how to explain it to you.
Was that a way that you justified it?
I did. The only thing we can explain it as the need for validation.
Right.
Because it broke me down so bad, I felt dirty. I just wanted to hear I was good. I wanted to hear that there was nothing wrong with me. The singer, what did violate me, you know? Me actually they around him for a while too. I went back near him. I wanted to hear him say it was a mistake, it was an accident, he was drunk. I wanted to hear something.
Yeah.
Me did just want to repair my belief in a people and my trust. I want to repair my belief in myself. Me never trust my judgment and I want him to fix it. Because me did trust him. That never happened. When me realized it now come, me stop me around him. Second set, where my friend, me start date one of them. When you know when me broke it off, when he proposed.
What?
When me say, oh my God, this is crazy, this is madness now, this is gone far enough. At the time I broke it off. When he proposed. And this, when he proposed, this was when, let me tell you now. This is before me have my daughter. My daughter born at 21. My second time I get raped was 19 years old. It's a song that start play on the radio. And I think say, it affected by the fact that now me I start get noticed. So I have song I play on the radio and people start look at me like one artist and I push because the thing about me, you can't break me with one bad event. It's easier you break me with comfort. Comfort to make me stay in my house and lie down and watch Netflix. A bad event will make me get up and prove to you and make a find a way to cut your throat. That's it. You can't beat me like that. You can't beat me by beating me.
So
You're a bit smarter than me.
wait, so oh my God. So is this an entertainer that is still singing and entertaining and is still
He might try, but he flop bad. He might try, but he flop. And every time I talk about him, I say it, because I know him on seat. And he need for know. Say me I see him as a flop guy, a flop. and people say, call his name. What me I call his name for? Me don't be the only person I call his name. Me not revive him.
You never told one person. Not one person knows who this man is.
People know him, people close to me, but they not talk.
Oh my God.
I sworn everybody to secrecy. We're not about him back. Because me know people stay. People are morbid. And the moment I call his name is the moment he will start being promoted.
Right. You're
by these morbid fucking people out here.
You're right.
So me not call his name. If me call his name, man, me tap out my tongue and dash away. Not call his name. He not get no prop off for me. He must stay as dead as he is.
Oh my God.
Second set of boy though, may I tell you this? When I hear people say, why did you go back? Why did they go back to Bill Cosby's house? I may understand. First of all, the disruption to all of your processes, we have to do with common sense and reason. Remember, you know, reason bring your comments, so, you know, and it mash up, you know. So you're not go back there. So first of all, you don't trust yourself. And no matter who tell you say you're pretty, you're sexy, you're talented, no matter what people tell you, you not believe it. Because somebody out there so no say you're dirty. And me just want to hear the person that tell me, say, no man, you're wrong. You're not dirty. You're desirable. Something, anything, any stupidness, I would have accepted anything. Yeah. Anything in other state there, Shannon, me just want a word. Me just want to hear him say, me make a mistake. If he say, then he try to chat to me since, you know. Me have to tell him, move from here, you know. Because me I tell you something, at the grace of God, make that boy still there, because he face it flick off.
All that. All that energy, exactly.
In real life. But guess what now? One, a man gonna rape me and walk off knowing say rape me, and then two, me go hurt him and carry that from my karma for the rest of my life. So twice he get to violate me. Me not give him that. He not get that from me. Nah, get that from me.
Alright.
Him a go sit down this and him a go watch me tribe and sake of them boy, them maybe got them man there, no? Because them completely responsible for every success me have in a life. Saint Mary boy, them have to get up and say, you know what? Them a go see me. Me a go get so big that them can't miss me. Me a go get so big and me a climb so high that anywhere them go, them can't go nowhere on earth where they not go book me up.
Yeah. That.
And that's my motivation. We got a long down.
Wow. Wow.
Alive. That's why I'm such a cynic. Nothing in a life no fears me because I see the humans and I know who them be. I know them. I see them and I see through them. I want pragmatist. I not buy into the bag of emotions that people bring to my foot.
Yeah.
I'm not interested. Because I know no most like no real channel. They not care.
You know why I'm asking about who he is? Because it makes me wonder, who else did he do this to?
Well, I was introduced to a few more of his victims, a couple more.
Oh, so he did.
Yeah, he's a serial rapist.
Oh my.
And people keep backing him and God knows best and you know they always bring God to defend the criminal.
I can't believe.
Jamaican people, I love y'all so much. But yeah, when we talk to him victims and when them describe directly to me, there's no way upon earth them can duplicate my process to me and me never share it. Me not think they can make up, they can materialize out of thin air my experience. And him have a MO.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And then
Destruction for him though.
And then for it to happen to you twice, did you go through? Because I actually have a friend, oh God, who got raped 3 times from social media, meeting somebody off Tinder and Facebook and stuff like that. And she never told anybody for years because she blamed herself she was like, well, something must be wrong with me. Like, why would me multiple times? Like, how can this happen to me a second and a third time? Did you go through that as well?
Yes. Yes. I felt for sure it must be my fault because twice, what are the odds? But the reality is, the odds are not slim. In my adulthood and in later years when I've become more vocal and I've sat with women in every group, almost everybody in the group are multiple survivors of multiple events of the same part. You can't sit down in a room, a Jamaican woman, and don't talk to a whole heap. If the room is big and it's full, you're going to talk to a whole heap of victims of sexual violence. Yeah. It happens in our homes. It happens at school. It happens in the workplace, in places of entertainment. It's everywhere. Yeah. Because we have a rape culture that we don't want to admit.
Right.
We have a rape culture. Because we end up spending the whole evening talking about rape. But we have a rape culture. And the moment we start to admit it is the moment we can begin to solve that problem. But we don't want to admit that. And we blame the girls because we don't want to accept and admit that we are a part of this problem. And we don't want to do the work to solve it. When you hear a woman look at another woman and say, go and raise the daughter right for my son. When a woman say, yo, my cute son, I come fuck off all them girls. And the son is within earshot. When the son hears that, what are you telling him? All these girls belong to you.
Yeah.
So when he comes to collect his entitlement, he's not going to take a no. His mother told him that these girls belong to him. Our dialogue needs to change. The narrative needs to be changed on every level.
Absolutely.
Right across the board.
Absolutely. Oh my God.
And when girls we get criminalized for what we wear. The first time I got raped, I was in a skirt will catch me on my knee and one blouse. I looked like I was coming from Pentecost Church. The first time. The second time I had on jeans pants and a long sleeve polo.
If you had on a bati rider, pom pom shorts, it wouldn't even, if you was walking around naked.
First of all, if they planned to do that and I had on sackcloth, they would have done it. It makes no difference. Nuns get raped. Rape is not about invitation. It's the exact opposite. It's a lack of invitation. And we keep misplacing the blame and we misdiagnose the problem, and that's how we can't solve it. It's why Jamaica sideways, you know. Because I'm a favorite place on earth. My favorite, bar none. Me not have no close competition to Jamaica. I love me hard. And nobody can change that. I love me hard. I love the place. Some of the people them fuck up, but not all of them. But the one them fuck up, them really bad. And the one them were nice, them accommodate.
Yep.
And enable. The one them were not nice. Me go always fight the problem. Me not give up on my yard. But me not gonna be one of them people sugarcoat it neither. Me not work for Ministry of Tourism. Me go tell you, if you come here, watch yourself, because them money love rape.
Jesus Christ. Oh my.
Them money don't take no. Me go tell you that. You come here with a little picnic, and right in front of you, them tell you, say, your little picnic look sexy. Picnic. Them are some pedophile. Listen, I was walking with my niece one night in Bogwalk.
Yeah.
2 policemen were patrolling. They were on foot. And I was walking with my niece. My niece at the time was probably about 18, but she looked like she act immature. She looked like about 16. And we were walking together. A stranger would not have known it was my daughter. She was my niece. And one of the policemen approached her beside me and started trying to chat her up. Of course, me not go say nothing. She an adult. She could have, if she wanted to entertain him, I would not have raised any kind of alarm. But she said no. She actually said no. She rejected his advances. And he kept coming. And he kept coming, and he just kept coming until I was like, God damn.
Right.
You know, here she said no.
Right.
Move from near my picnic.
Right.
Picnic? What do you mean by picnic? Like, sir, move. No, but what do you mean by picnic? How old is she? I'm like, that's none of your fucking business.
Once she said no, that's it.
She said no, and I said picnic. What? Listen, man, me nearly lay egg. Because you know me already have no, listen. Coming out of my experiences, I suffer from acute paranoia. I have trust issues.
Yeah.
I have a whole heap of issues what come out of that. Me see them, me acknowledge them, me embrace them. It's okay. Me can live with them. I'm a superpower that. My paranoia saved my life a whole heap of time. So you know, so when him come there and start talk to her, you know, this a trigger me in all different kinds of ways.
Right.
Because me hear her, I say no, and she's not somebody who reserved with her no. And we're up on the roadside, Shannon. We're up on the road with a whole heap of people around up on a weekend. Can you imagine if him back her up by herself somewhere? And him a police. No, this is an intimidating man because him in a uniform and him having gun on him. How many young girls has he approached who never interested?
Right.
Were afraid of him.
Right.
This is what we have in a Jamaica, you know? And them are going to tell me, you talk so bad about Jamaica, like nowhere else, no bad like you. Jamaica, me live and me, I just me care about.
Yo, I cannot. I'm at a loss for words.
Idea, listen, you think this bad? You wait until when we get comfortable enough to start talk about the little boys.
Yo, that's another layer.
It's up, lift up. It bad. It really. Listen, girl, we have work to do.
A lot.
Enough. So Andrew, it's better. I don't know what going on with him on COVID, but he need to start pay attention to the things them out here. Because I know everybody get COVID, but most people get rape here.
Listen, oh my God. I just the strength on you is just so admirable. Like I never even know that you went through that. Never even know that you went through that.
There was a time when I couldn't talk about it. It's not me. No, I don't want to give a wrong impression to people who are dealing with that right now, because me never just get up and strong. Enough things if me ever tell somebody something along the way.
Yeah.
And I have also been in therapy.
Yeah.
Now me have the benefit of the ability to afford therapy. Not everybody does.
Right.
And I have tried to direct people to therapy here in Jamaica, and I've had difficulty. So I mean the facilities which are available are sometimes overwhelmed and underfunded, you know, so it's hard. So for everybody out there where actually any therapists who want to volunteer, hit me up. I don't have no shortage. Every time we have discussions like this, we have an influx of people where I reach out. I've spoken to people. One woman who make me bawl about me say one night me couldn't, well, not one night, one night me can't sleep, but one particular night, I spoke to a woman who said she was 75 And she got molested before she was 10, under 10. And speaking to me at 75 years old was the first time she had tell nobody.
Oh my
My ball,
God.
I couldn't tap ball. Me don't know I feel like to keep that inside of me all that time. And never tell a living soul. She's like, she just couldn't tell nobody. And Jesus, you know much people in the music right now, you see them, some of them girls who you see right now. Look like them a hold it together and people criticize them for all different kind of things. If you hear their story, them go through it too.
Yeah.
Them go through it too. Some of the older ladies too go through it already.
Yeah.
Listen, we're all broken, you know. We all are trying to find a way to survive. And we're just some kids in adult bodies trying to keep it together.
Yeah.
And the moment we stop judge each other and start being a shoulder, start being more empathetic, start understanding that we might be going through different things, but we are going through something. Be more understanding. You know, don't just cast judgment at the first glance.
Yeah.
You might not be able to help, but at least shut up. Just shut up. But in the interim, me will never stop chat.
Don't.
Me will never.
I'm sure there's people on this live have gone through the same thing.
We worse.
Or worse, right?
Worse. I may empathize with them, I may feel for them, and it's rough. Shannon, it's rough, man. Right now, for every woman out there will never experience this, believe me, I'm really, really happy for you. I don't wish this for my worst enemy.
Yeah.
I don't have no human dead or alive when I want to experience this. It's too much. It alters you.
Right.
I don't know who I would have been.
Right.
I have no idea. I am forever altered and I can never, ever know who I was going to be.
Completely stole your innocence.
Because they intersected.
Right. Completely stole your innocence as a teenager.
Take everything. Take everything. It's like everything I am after that moment is something that's built on that moment. It come up in everything. Like, granted, them boy don't have no power over me right now, you know? But them already do what they altering what them have to do back then.
Right, right. I don't know how people like that sleep at night. I just don't get it.
Comfortably. They actually are products of their environment too. So here's some of the things that survivors of sexual violence end up struggling with. So people say, why didn't you report it? Why didn't you report it? All right. Cool. That sounds like a good idea. Now, if you report it, we have the burden, because to be honest with you, most people who have experienced sexual violence end up having empathy for everybody around their rapist. Now, first I got raped by somebody whose mother I knew and was around. And me think about her. How this gonna affect she? Nicest woman. Loving, caring, come like a female mother too. In sister, my pardon sister. She nice as fuck. And you think about, he is the one person where all of them depend on. Him are the guy. Him are the major breadwinner. Plus him are the hope of the family, a country people them.
Yeah.
And when you rip the fabric from under them, first of all, I don't like no when me have resources. But then if I spoke, he probably would have sense somebody come kill me. And I like no when him have to be he wouldn't dare.
Right.
But if I would have managed to say something and live, I would have been pulling the rug from under other people. What me actually care about too. And we tend to invalidate those cares as if they don't matter, but they do matter. Because me a part of one environment, me know these people. I may have the discernment for know say him do me something, them never do me nothing, and me no know that they know because you know act like that around them. So all of these things, it shouldn't be my job. This is not my responsibility to care about them, you know. But me want human and me humane, so me care about them too. And going through extreme trauma actually makes you more empathetic, I think. Everybody will me know. No one want to. I drink, I get though. Beg you more, Jandy, no? It made me more aware of other people. And it make me feel for them. Like, all right, may I go through this? Me don't go through this. May I go just hold it? Because what's the point in me making more people go through it? You know what I say?
Yeah.
Like me, I go just hold the one sitting there by myself because me done hold it already. It's kind of like you and your friends go up on a robbery and them hold you. You're not gonna rat out your friend. You don't get charged already. You know just hold it, man. You didn't know what you do when you do it. So you rub your little sentence and you stop in eyes. You know, we ain't no snitches. So me hold it. It's a stupid narrative, you know. It's a really stupid reason, but that's how we live.
And then
I'm a hold it.
cancer on top of it, that's a whole nother layer. Only cancers are gonna understand that. That's a whole nother layer.
You're man.
We up here. We're in our heads. And to have that like trauma up here as a cancer on top of it is just, I can't even imagine how you dealt with that. I just can't. That's a lot.
Me no know either, you know. Cause me no claim no superpower, you know. Me no know. Me deal with it one day at a time, one event at a time, one moment at a time. Me go through one phase where I remember seeing it on a T-shirt. Avoid rape, say yes.
What?
I'm gonna take that as my mantra for a while. You've never seen that? Child, that is an actual popular statement. It's a popular part of culture. All over.
Yes.
Yes. That especially in the late 80s, early 90s, girl, that was very popular. I don't know if before that, but me know say me grew up, I see that as avoid rape say yes was on. I remember seeing it on a T-shirt.
What?
And it was a T-shirt somebody had on. I wanted to get one of those T-shirts because I felt like I was owning my life and myself. And I felt like I was in charge of myself. If I said yes, nobody got to, thanks. Nobody got to actually extract a yes from me because I said yes. So even if I wasn't planning or didn't want to say yes, then I would have said yes just to maintain sovereignty. It was the weirdest. It's a lot of madness going on, you know. Holy for madness. May I go tell you this? I remember I remember describing a phase coming out of those experiences, which in that phase I felt like, if now looking back or after the phase looking back, it felt like I deliberately lowered my standard.
Yeah.
To avoid disappointment.
Yeah.
Avoid disappointment or hurt. And remember one time I post, I think up on my Facebook, I made a talk about it a few years ago. And me say, some of the people I deal with, me and them not belong in the same space. Neither psychologically or no other kind of alley. Some of them would have to look down through an electron microscope to see them in a real state. Because me no know about when nobody see me when them look for me, you know, but me can tell you this. Me superior. I'm very superior. I'm not you. I don't even claim being human because me disdainful of regular typical human behavior.
Yeah.
And some of the people them when me consult with, me look back and me can't imagine, like, oh my God, I really was going through something and nobody never noticed this.
Right.
Like, you see me, you know me steer, you know my brain, you know some me arrogant, you know some me disdainful, you know say me smart. I may want sapiosexual my entire life. Me go for brains.
Right.
Me really not drawn to body.
Yeah.
And you see me I talk to that Cretan there, you see me I talk to that toe jam. And you never realize this, you know? Oh my God.
Not toe jam.
But hold on. Yeah.
Damn.
But
damn.
That's part of the post behavior, you know. Because that comes after, you know how much people I meet. I have similar experiences. I listen to people talk about them life, and I swear my life them I talk about.
Yeah.
The way how them behave after.
Yeah.
Because after when you're in that low self-esteem or no self-esteem phase there. Because remember, you know, we live in a society where reinforced rape culture, you know?
Right.
We tell you to, even though them pretend, all them people here are going righteous and pretend. So them for rapists, you know, all of them have dialogue. Me have a friend with me and him fall out because he said, well, me make sure I make my daughter them know say this, that, and my daughter know say this not happen and blah blah, and basically saying he reinforced Kelly. he reinforced his daughter so that that couldn't happen to her.
Which is ridiculous.
And I'm trying to explain to him that when you say that to your daughter, what you're actually saying to your daughter in the event that happens is that she failed. And guess what? She's not going to come to you because you have made it abundantly clear that you put measures in place so that that shouldn't happen to her.
Right.
So if it happened to her, it's her fault.
Exactly.
So she's not going to come to you. All of the conversation they want to change, you know, all me I try to explain to people. Then just now listen.
Yeah.
Them think me like that, and then them tell me I love talk about rape. Like, no, I do not. I wish it would go away so that I don't have to talk about it at all.
Right.
But you keep keeping it alive, you know? Girl,
Yeah.
it's a lot. We have enough work to do. Enough.
Like
But big up all of the agencies, all of the NGOs, all of the groups, every group working, because trust me, the work is hard. And just being a part of this, just being around people who have invited me to come and do stuff with them, and by conversation, you know, you end up near more people working, and people like E for Life, the groups like E for Life rather, who are there for young mothers,
yeah,
especially from adverse circumstances. They work hard, and there's no funding. You know, there's little to no funding, and they try their best, and they impact a lot of lives, but they can't do everything.
right.
So I big them up and I thank them. Just knowing that they're there, and I try to impact as much as I can. People ask me for help and try to turn me into a therapist, but I tell them I might do more harm than good because I'm not trained for that.
But do you think
and
that
I act on emotion.
do you think that could be therapeutic for you though?
I do have conversations with them, but when I assess the level of damage,
yeah,
and I recognize that I cannot help, I refer them to a professional because I don't want to do more damage.
yeah,
And anything can do more damage.
yeah.
You know, just I'm not trained for that. I know my limits.
Yeah.
We don't have enough professionals, or if they are here, then they're not visible enough. We don't know them enough. Listen, we need to step up with mental health industry. Remember the first time I tried go therapy was in Jamaica. I go to one man with popular have a radio show because him the only name I know.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit down there in there and talk to him. Girl, run one whole session, ask few questions. So me not feel like me get nothing out of the session. It was like me just sit down and listen to myself talk. And then when me done, you know what the man said?
What?
Session done and me I go going on. Him say, Tonya Stephens. The great Tonya Stephens. So I have to go listen to the music again with a new ear. And I'm like,
wow.
Seriously?
What the hell?
I never felt so naked in my entire life. And then book me an appointment to come back for the next session. I was like, yeah, sure, cool. Me, if you see me back again, I must have a picture. I must put TV.
What, yo, oh my.
I ran and kept running. I took my therapy when I was outside of Jamaica to people who don't know who the fuck I am when I was anywhere with enough time to get.
And then that's another layer, being in the public eye and trying to maintain some level of privacy. Jesus, somebody said unprofessional. No, that's beyond unprofessional.
Listen, big up every bartender. My therapist, them there.
Listen, I can't say that I don't understand that part of it. Listen, oh my God. Man, what a conversation. Look, I didn't even expect to talk about this, but you know, God has a funny way of, you know, making things happen. And I'm so, so glad to know you. And I'm so like, I can't even believe that you're so brave and you're just so courageous to just share your story. Like, I think that that's honorable. I really do. Like, I just don't know how people come back from that. Like, when I look at my friend that this happened to, she's just different. She's different. And I felt so bad that I wasn't able to be there for her because she never told anybody. And then when she just casually said it and made a joke about, oh yeah, the time that I got raped, you know, and I was like, what? She made a joke about it. She's like, yeah, about 4 years ago. And then it happened again. And then I was like, what? I was like, you know, I know some goons that ain't got shit to lose.
Coping mechanism though. When she gets to that place, this is a part of coping. You know, yeah, you have to find a way to let it out because it's kind of like a cancer inside of you. And if you don't get it out, the moment I started talking about it, immediately started to feel better.
Yeah.
And I just kept feeling better. And when I speak to other people and they say I've helped them in any way,
Yeah.
it made me feel better too.
Yeah.
And I try to warn girls who have not yet experienced that,
Yeah.
you know, but there's no way though, because predators predators find your weak spot. That's what they do. So all these parents out there who are preparing their kids for predators, you know, all of them would think they're super strict. Yeah, and they think that only poor kids get it. No, uptown people who seek validation get it too.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people out there, they have all the creature comforts, but they feel like shit in their own skin. And they're happy to have that guy come and pick up their daughter or son. It's a claim by association.
Yeah.
They're happy to brag. Like, you know who was at my house last weekend? No, you mean the guy who's fucking your kid?
What? Oh my God.
Yeah, it's that. That's a thing.
The things that women have to go through. I feel like most of the women that I know either were molested as kids, raped, some sort of sexual assault, something. I remember when I was 14, walking down the street, just walking down the street, it was July 4th. I remember exactly what I had on. This man put his hand underneath my skirt, grabbed grabbed me from front to back. And you want to talk about, if you were paranoid from that, the paranoia that I experience, every time I walk, I'm looking behind me. I'm looking behind me. I just got over that maybe 3-4 years ago. I stopped looking behind me. And this happened when I was 14. 14. Every single woman, every woman I know, another one of my friends, a homeless guy, grabbed her whole pum pum from the same shit happened to her, but she ran his ass down and fucked him up. Ran him down. Ran him down. Yes. But I was a little 14-year-old girl, and I was so like shocked. I couldn't believe. I was like, did he just really grab me? I'd never experienced anything sexual, nothing. Still was a virgin, all of that. You come that most of the women I know have gone through something traumatic. That's not okay.
But we actually have a minister of, what is he minister of again? Delroy Chuck. Delroy Chuck is minister of what again, Craig? Not national security, but he's minister of justice. He's minister of justice. Our minister of justice was talking about, they were looking at a law to reform or to add an act or something. And he in Parliament said, we don't want what's happening in America to happen. We don't want anything like what's happening in America to happen here. So if you're on an elevator and somebody says something 10 years ago, if you didn't say anything then, sure, don't bother with it. Like, what? This is a minister of justice. And let me tell you, Jamaican people, some of them don't understand the severity of this. He should not remain in that position. He's still there. I already lost any hope for this party from a long time ago. The man said, if you didn't speak then, no, I don't think they understand the confidence that the Minister of Justice needs to instill in the citizens of the country. Now the Minister of Justice thinks you don't deserve justice because 10 years passed. So 10 years ago, I was violated. And 10 years after, it doesn't matter anymore because I didn't speak then. I was too weak. And this is the nature of this crime, because when it just happens to you, you're too weak to speak. Sometimes it takes therapy. It takes family, if you have that, a circle, village, to bring you back to normalcy, to then be able to speak. And when you can only speak in 10 years, they tell you, statute of limitations.
Right.
Statute of limitations.
And the irony for his title to be justice.
Justice Minister. Girl, and listen, I had arguments with Jamaican people, and I have a twisted sense of humor. A really twisted sense of life has beaten my sense of humor out of shape. It's very twisted and dented and broken. And I've had arguments on social media with people who are defending him. Women too.
Unbelievable.
These are These are all people who are suffering from Stockholm syndrome, because we're held captive in a system that abuses us.
Right.
And over time, we learn to love it and start to defend it. And that's the only excuse I can find for it. This is Stockholm syndrome on a grand scale. Because they're defending the Minister of Justice who says women don't deserve justice.
Right.
And then women in parliament. There are women in parliament, and I'm looking at them like, I have no respect for any of you. Any of you. You should be the first one to call him out and be like, take him down. Take him down. Brother not ready. And then him come back with a half-ass apology saying wife and daughter. Tell him, listen, but you never say wife and daughter. You should have said you thought about it. Your wife and daughter have to tell us that wrong, brother. You shouldn't be Minister of Justice. You have no concept of justice.
Who are putting these people, besides the voters, of course, but how do
Listen to
people get to even run and even be a part of? I'm so confused.
Listen, I want to go back in time and stitch up the birth canal he came down.
Seriously.
I want to stitch it up with a real needle and thread. Like use some fucking nylon and stitch that shit up so that nothing can go up there and nothing can come down.
Seriously.
You can imagine you come out of one woman and talk like that?
Right.
Where are these men coming from? Like we need to start lock with leg and broke a neck because them man don't deserve to born. You come down out of me and then you come stand up and deprive me of my very right. Like, where we get them from? And then Jamaican men act like they love women. Like, stop it, man. You need to find yourself a man. You don't love a man. Stop lying. Stop lying. Stop. You can't fool me. We must have gone about 3 hours. Oh my God, I have no concept of time. But if I universal time, Ocean and Kunga,
I'm about to go out, girl.
You go out? Don't hype on me through me there in a lockdown. Don't hype on me because my granny, Andrew, only said me I figure out my bed. It's like me live with my granny.
Yeah, it's after 8 for you, right?
Fuck you. I hope you stub your toe up on a dresser corner. Your little toe.
Oh, I just loved you.
Back up, enjoy yourself for the 2 hours, yeah? I love you.
I will. Oh my God, Tonya.
You know, okay, so talk your mind TV, you know, okay, so talk.
Yeah, welcome back to Talk Your Mind TV. It's the next episode of Talk Your Mind TV. I'm going to talk my mind now. Yeah, the same issue with Tonya Stephens with him alleged rape case. And my day here, I watch a whole heap of things. Alright, I'm going to do my research and go back down, way back down at the time with Tonya Stephens talk about. And to my understanding, you know, the time when Tonya Stephens talk about the rape thing happened with her, are 3 artists I know. Like 3 artists missed the thing I show me. Like what they did it in them time there. And she said Shabba Ranks that are the big thing and Lady Pacha. And our next artist was the breakout artist, the upcoming artist, the breakout one. And the breakout artist what I can see in them time there, Richie Stephens. And the breakout artist what I can see in them time there, Richie Stephens. Why Richie Stephens? Because Richie Stephens was the man now who used to open most of the show them for Shabba as the next like, top thing. Saying him used to open the stage show for Shabba. Like one of the open guests for Shabba. And Tonya Stephens say the artists who him attack are the big thick artists with muscle. And the only one of them can pinpoint are Richie Stephens. Are the only artists we can pinpoint back in them days are Richie Stephens. And them say the artists are going like I'm a Christian now and move like him godly and I'm have a whole link and one or something. And I don't like it. Tonya Stephens should have called names still, but who know you from them time? They know when you used to go to studio, they know when you used to go there. Them know what go on, them know oh. So Lady Pacha could have confirmed your allegation, and Shabba could have confirmed your allegation, and Richie Stephens could have confirmed your allegation. You understand? But you see me still, me don't support no rapists. Me don't support no pedophile and me don't support no homosexual. Point blank and period. I just attack my mind. And I feel like Tonya Stephens, you need to come out and call the perpetrator name so next upcoming female artist can be aware.
I am Hi everybody. My name is Elaine Lim. I am from Singapore, or somewhere in Asia. I'm Chinese. I am a beatboxer. I am a arts educator. I'm a content creator. And I am a survivor. This is my account of what happened on the 12th and 13th of November in 2019 in Melbourne, Australia, roughly 6 days after my 27th birthday. Before I start, I'd like you to understand that the reason for me getting this video out is because of the following reasons. 1, I want the truth to be known, and I want whatever that was done to me to be known. By who and what was done. I also want to tell the other survivors out there who may be watching this video that it's okay to hold your pup accountable. The pup in question and a formal police report was actually launched right after the incident. Immediately after the incident, I did a rape kit. I made a police report. If it happened in Singapore, I'm sure he wouldn't have been able to walk away after he initially got called into the police station. The pup in question, his name is Richie Stephens from Westmoreland, Jamaica. You know him as Richie Stephens. Maybe the idol that you guys look up to, or your ambassador. It's a shame that one of your ambassadors that was supposed to spread Jamaican culture during the tour that I was on has committed such a heinous act and have shown no regrets. I'm saying this story not just for myself, but the many, many survivors who've had to either stay silent about what happened to them, who never reported, or who still lives with their pup, or walk around. This is a man that preaches religion. Seems like a decent man. A man that both me and the artist on tour that I was on tour with trusted. There are some facts that I would like to be clear. First of all, no consent was given. I am speaking English right now. So if you want to talk about there's a language barrier, I'm sure no is a universal word. No was verbally spoken. and blatantly ignored. I did not go into a hotel with him, for those people who have heard several versions of the story. We were staying together in an Airbnb with different rooms. We had a common living space, but that was it. There are no relationships between me. In fact, I called him uncle because the first time he came into Singapore, he tried to stick his tongue down my throat. And I came from a very sheltered place. In Singapore, we don't have a lot of crime of the extent that other people or other countries might face. So I lived a very sheltered life. Initially, when he did that to me, all I did was I just closed my mouth, didn't allow it, but at the same time, as Asians, we are taught to respect our guests. The only thing I asked my friend at that point in time was, is this a Jamaican culture? Is this a Jamaican way of greeting? And that's when she said, no. This is the behavior that he is doing when he's flying the flag of Jamaican up high. Claiming to represent your country, claiming to represent your culture, but this is actually what he's doing. I was on tour. It's called the Jamaican Flavor Tour with my friend, who I was doing a behind the scenes for and managing several aspects of the tour. We made sure that the Singapore side was covered, some of the Malaysia side was covered. The tour was planned by her. So, whatever rumor there was that said that we were Chinese girls who only wanted money, look me in the eye now and tell me that I'm lying. Tell me that we needed money. In fact, ask any survivor, do you think the money can ever repay what was taken and what was lost? As much as I hate to say the word, Richie Stephens is the man that raped me. When my friend left for a studio and I stayed behind to do my work. I stayed behind to edit a music video that I was behind on. And we trusted him enough that no funny business was going to be tried when I was left alone with him. This is not the truth. He did take advantage of the fact that I was alone with him. During which he was having phone calls. And he was talking about his mother. How she had a surgery. And he was worried for her. He got so visibly upset. He asked for a hug. I was like, okay, hug, fine. I agreed to a hug. But what I didn't agree after that was how he ignored my pleas to stop. When he went further. When he tried to lie on my tummy. When he tried to hold me down. When every single time I said, no, I'm not comfortable, stop. He said, just relax. This happened in 2019. Yet we're at 2021. And I still remember every single aspect of what happened. Do you think for a survivor is so easy? It just stops there? How many times of therapy I had to go through? The relationships that I've lost. I was a shell of myself. When I went to the counselor in Melbourne, her voice sounded so far away. I was disassociated. But yet I remember every single thing. Can you imagine how that feels like? He did it not once. First he started to suck his finger, during which I panicked. And I said, I need to go to the toilet. I need to go. What the hell is this? No. He proceeded to try more. And then he penetrated me. And it happened for 3 times. During which there was nothing I could do. He's a way bigger guy than me. Deep in my heart, the only thing that I wish at that point of time, because I realized that I couldn't fight back, was just wishing that my friend would come back. After I reported to the police, we left the apartment. I thought that this nightmare was just stopped there. It didn't, because the next thing he went to the media of Jamaica and said that the allegations were not true. But let me remind you this. If you go onto my Facebook, the only thing that I said was that I was sexually assaulted. I didn't name him. My friend said that she was going to pull herself off the tour because of the sexual assault. She also didn't name him. Yet, on the Jamaica media, if you search, Jamaican artist rape Australia, right there was zero consideration of the fact that he just did that to me with no remorse whatsoever. When visibly I said no, verbally I said no, stop it. You're hurting me. Ignored. Blatantly ignored. Yet he can pretend like everything was okay when my friend came back. I was shell-shocked, sitting at the computer. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. Before that, he has tried to kiss me, as mentioned. During the Indonesia leg of the trip, he did also attempt, and I pushed him away. I said no. During then, he respected my boundaries. But this one, zero respect for boundaries. Blatant ignoring. Oh no. No is a freaking universal word. 2 letters. No. I think that's pretty clear. So yeah, you did that to me. It has changed entirely my life because I lost not just a part of myself, I lost myself. I didn't know who I was anymore. You don't feel like there's an identity of anymore. You're caught in a constant trauma. You're caught in a constant reminder. Yet, here you are, saving your skin on the media, saying that the allegations are not true. What allegations? We didn't call you. You called yourself out. What allegations, pray tell? If you have heart, then you should be upfront, admit your mistake, and tell people what you've done. Not hide behind like a coward. Not run to the media immediately and spread false news. Journalists, isn't it your duty to actually fact check before you report? All the things I've spoken here are facts. They were in the police report. They were publicly shared. If you want to look for it, it's there. There's always this saying that I keep hearing. Oh, he has a family, so he can't be a perp. And this is precisely why there's so many of such cases. Isn't it scary? The thought that the person next to you might be a perp, a hidden perp, and you don't know it? I don't trust justice by criminal law, because in Australia, it is innocent until proven guilty. In Singapore, however, it is guilty until proven innocent. I don't know how it is in Jamaica. But I want to get this story out there. Get my story out there. How it has affected me. How it has made me to not even recognize myself. For 1.5 years, I was living in a dream where I don't exist. Where everything was reactionary. Where I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I didn't want to shower. People couldn't touch me. I had to watch cartoons. I could only watch cartoons because the rest of things was so triggering. And let me tell you this, so many times, I've thought about killing myself because I didn't know how it was going to work. I prayed for justice. I was a believer in justice. I believed in the police. But then I learned that the laws are here to protect the perps. Still, the power is with the people. It's up to every single individual to decide what is right. I don't know whether there are any other people who might be victims. Under his hand, I don't expect you to come forward and say anything. This is my choice. And the only thing I'm doing is honoring my own choices. To upfront and call him out. If you want to hear snippets of what exactly happened, You can find it in verse 2 of Not All That Glitters Is Gold. That was penned and written by my friend. That is now an anthem for survivors. Let's not talk about Me Too. Let's just talk about this very horrible concept of how many people are pups in disguise, of how many cases I've heard, of how many red tape survivors have to jump through to seek justice and redress for their own case. Yet people are so quick to dismiss. Either say this person dressed slutty, or this person is a certain way, or promiscuous. Sorry. Well, I'm none of that. I'm a straight individual with a 14 years stable relationship with my partner who has supported me throughout this whole thing. That this person, Richie Stephens, has blatantly ignored. This effect of what he has done does not just stop at me. You've created a wave of impact. You've hurt me, but then you've hurt my mother, who blames herself for letting me even go to Australia. You've hurt my partner, for not calling you out sooner or bashing you when you first did that to me in Singapore, by kissing me. You've hurt my friend, who treated you like a mentor, who wanted to really grow reggae, the scene in Asia, to represent Jamaica proper because she loves Jamaica. The many, many things that you've put on the line, that you've affected the lives of so many of my loved ones. It's also one of the reasons why I'm coming out to say this right now. A simple assault does not only affect the survivor. It never does. I'm not asking you to hold signs or picket rails. I simply want the truth to be known. I simply want my side of the story to be heard. And to come forward and tell you that all the things that he has accused or allegate that we actually did, we're Chinese girls wanting money, we were this, we were that. Not true. My friend organized the tour. She herself is her own established artist. No need clout. No clout needed. I have a life. I'm not some roadie on the road. Not only was I documenting, I was also helping with the administrative stuff. I was very much a part of my friend's team. We trusted you. I drew my boundary with you by calling you uncle. Because clearly, uncle means, yes, I acknowledge you're there, but you cannot touch me. I do not love you. I'm in love with my partner. And we've actually kept in contact the whole time throughout the tour. All the way until the incident happened, and that's when I disappeared and he knew something was up. You have a family. Yet, without a blink of an eye, you can still do that to me. You have a daughter. So who says just because you're a family man means you're a saint? These are just the things that I want people to think about. Again, these are all facts. Then you can look up. And I'm addressing just the other concerns that I've heard. The truth will be known. And in one way or another, heard. The truth will be known. And in one way or another, you can't run from the truth. Thank you, everybody.